Welcome back to our podcast. I'm the gentleman, accompanied by the Disturbed Southern Belle.
Hello.
And in this episode, we're going to be continuing our series on disturbing and odd medical treatments.
Past and some maybe current more.
Yeah.
Some overlap, all that good stuff.
So, we're starting with one called trepanning for headaches. Trepanning refers to the practice of drilling a hole in the skull. This is one of history's oldest treatments, as doctors believe that trepanning released pressure, treated headaches, or got rid of evil spirits. Historical findings have shown that this practice was very common, and many patients even survived.
Oh, wow. That makes it sound so good.
So, while we now understand that drilling a hole into the skull is more likely to cause harm than healing, trepanning offers a glimpse into the daring approaches early humans took in their quest to alleviate suffering. Trepanning dates back to 7,000 to 10,000 years ago, and is perhaps the oldest actually surgical procedure for which there is archaeological evidence, and in some areas may have been quite widespread. So the main pieces of archaeological evidence are in the form of human remains. At one burial site in France, dated to around 6500 BCE, 40 out of 120 prehistoric skulls had had trepanation holes.
Good grief.
At the time, only around 40% of the people were estimated as having survived the procedure. So, yeah.
That's a lot. I didn't realize it was that many. I mean, that's a ton.
That's a lot.
That is a lot.
Next is probably one of the, not really high up there, but it's definitely one of the dumbest things I have ever read about. Milk transfusions for blood loss.
Yeah, sounds good.
So, in the past, milk was used as an alternative to blood. Doctors had thought that milk could replace lost blood and provide important nutrients. However, the physiological differences between milk and blood make this practice not only really ineffective and completely stupid, but also very dangerous.
Yeah, I don't really think milk would be a good blood replacement.
You would think they would have chosen actual blood from another thing first.
Yeah, something, yeah. Apparently not.
But anyways, the concept of milk transfusions does actually show how desperate people were back in the early days of medical.
Right.
As we now know, the two are very different things, which we should have already known.
Yeah.
As there are literally no similarities other than the fact that they're liquid.
Right.
But
anyway. I guess you don't know till you try, apparently.
And even after you try, you apparently don't figure it out sometimes.
Evidently not, no.
Anyways, next would be whale bodies for achy joints.
Oh god, this one is disgusting.
This one is very disgusting. So, whale bodies, the giant ocean creature whales, were once thought to be able to help treat painful joints and ailments like rheumatoid arthritis. People believed that spending hours inside of a dead whale carcass could heal their joints.
You heard that right. Sitting inside a carcass.
Just sitting inside of it. Just letting all of that just soak into you.
Sure.
So, yeah. The sick person would be taken by boat to the whale and placed in a hole cut into the whale's body. Theories are that the idea came from the warmth and possible soothing effects of the warm confined space.
Sure.
But the treatment's effectiveness is doubtful, to put it lightly.
I'd say so.
To put it very lightly.
Definitely.
The next thing is just retarded. Cigarettes for asthma.
Yep.
Might sound rather stupid, but cigarettes were once thought of as a treatment for people who had trouble breathing. The belief was that breathing in the smoke would help open the lungs, making it easier to breathe.
Yep. Sounds like a winner.
This also reminds me of a certain thing where people would blow smoke into a person's rear end if they drowned.
Sounds like that would work too. Why not?
Which was a real thing.
People did
I think it was England or whatever.
People definitely did some interesting things.
Weirdly enough, that one seemed to work a little bit.
Sure.
Back then, anyway.
Why not?
Anyways, getting off track. The belief for the cigarettes for asthma thing, the belief was supported by early advertising campaigns that promoted certain cigarette brands as being beneficial for respiratory health, which we now know is a major lie. In fact, it's actually the cause of a lot of respiratory diseases, including asthma.
Nah, that can't be true. Why would they do that?
I don't know.
That just doesn't seem right.
Big businesses are always known for their honesty and
Exactly. Are they sure that's true?
intent to help people above all else.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Anyways, next is leeches for illness. And this is actually still done today to an extent. So, one of the most commonly used medical treatments was bloodletting. This would mean draining the quote-unquote bad blood out of a sick person's body. This treatment was used to cure many things, from fevers to epilepsy. Leeches were often used for this and continue to be used today, but for different reasons.
Right.
Hence what I said a while ago. Today they are employed in microsurgery to reduce blood coagulation and improve circulation. This demonstrates that even the most bizarre historical treatments can actually have some basis in medical utility.
True.
I think they're also used for, like, spa things.
I'm not 100% sure, to be honest, but would not surprise me. I won't lie.
I don't know, I may be mistaken. I don't know much about spa treatments.
I'm not sure. I know they use like little fish and stuff, like to nibble,
Yeah.
but I don't know.
Anyways, next we're on to a disgusting one.
Not really? Can't believe it.
Urine therapy.
Oh, yes.
Urine therapy, or urotherapy, or uropathy, or autourine therapy is the application of using human urine for medical or cosmetic purposes. It can include things such as drinking one's own urine and massaging it into the skin or gums. It was popularized in the early 20th century by British naturopath John W. Armstrong. He was inspired by his family's practice of using urine to treat minor stings and toothaches.
Oh, God.
Yeah. Toothaches.
I heard. Ugh.
He claimed to have cured his own poor health by going on a 45-day fast where he stated that he ingested nothing but tap water and urine.
That's disgusting.
Very much. Urine was also thought to help whiten teeth, which is weird.
Yes, I've actually heard of that they thought they would do that, because, why not? Why not?
There's also the well-known folk remedy that urinating on a jellyfish sting will help with the pain. However, if I'm not mistaken, that actually makes it worse.
That's what I've heard. They said it did.
I don't know. I've never been stung.
Not to my knowledge. I've been in the ocean a few times, but no, not to my knowledge I've ever been stung by one. I think you would know. I would assume you would know anyway.
Yeah. Anyway, urine and urea have been claimed by some practitioners to have an anti-cancer effect.
Aha.
And urotherapy has been offered along with other forms of alternative therapy in some cancer clinics in Mexico.
Ew.
No well-controlled studies, however, support this, and available scientific evidence also does not support this.
I wouldn't imagine so. No, it doesn't sound...
I wouldn't imagine you could find enough people to volunteer for these studies.
Fair enough, but, ugh, yeah.
The next one is kinda, but not really, flat out stupid. Nightshade for pain.
Well, when I've heard of nightshade,
Considering it's called deadly nightshade,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, why not?
Sure.
I mean, it'll alleviate the pain eventually.
I guess so, one way or the other. Maybe just not how you want it to.
But at that point,
Permanently.
you wouldn't really care.
I guess not. No, guess not.
Anyways, nightshade, a very, very poisonous plant, was once used to help with pain. And while it does have parts in it that can be calming, the plant's poison can kill a person very easily.
Nah.
It can also cause confusion and hallucinations,
Right.
and the use of such a dangerous substance in medicine highlights the trial and error approach that, as we have seen earlier,
Mm-hmm.
very, very characterized early medicine practices.
Pretty much. It was just try this and see what happens.
Anyways, today we have far safer and much more effective pain management options, thanks to advances in pharmacology and a better understanding of toxicology.
Right.
But, Jesus, the thought of using nightshade.
I'm guessing it probably didn't impact some people as much. And
Also, the whole thing where if you only use a little bit of something
Right.
poisonous, it could be beneficial
Right.
without too many of the negative effects,
But-
but still.
Getting that perfect balance would be very hard.
And what kind of person sees what nightshade does and thinks, what if I cut it smaller?
I do not know. Don't know. It does make you wonder.
Anyways, next is truly insane. Purposefully collapsing lungs to cure tuberculosis.
Sounds like a winner.
So, plumbage, whatever, also medically known as extrapleural pneumonolysis, or extraperiosteal,
Right.
was a treatment historically used to cure cavity tuberculosis, specifically that of the upper lungs. It became most commonly used between 1930s and the 1950s, sometime before effective anti-tuberculosis medication had been created.
Right.
The technique involved creating a cavity under the upper ribs and filling it with inert material like acrylic balls, oils, or ping pong balls.
Yep, whatever you got, you know.
Also paraffin wax, gauze, and rubber sheets. This would cause the upper lung to collapse.
Good grief.
Medical professionals believed that a collapsed lung would heal more quickly. The procedure would often lead to hemorrhages. I wonder why.
I couldn't imagine. Everything sounds on the up and up there they're doing, so, why?
Yeah. And now on to that thing I mentioned before. Tobacco enemas. Or
Oh, yeah.
blowing smoke. Also, if I'm not mistaken, this is where the saying comes from, like,
Blowing
you're
smoke
just
up.
blowing smoke.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Probably. Sounds right.
Anyways, believing that it would stimulate respiration, providers would blow tobacco smoke into the rectums of drowning victims.
'Cause, yeah.
In the 16th and 17th centuries, Europeans were quite infatuated with tobacco and even hailed it as a treatment for more than 50 different health conditions. Which that number means nothing, but yeah.
But still, that's a lot.
So, administering it as an enema was, then at least, not an entirely bizarre next step. As I said, back then it wasn't.
Right.
In England, the approach grabbed great attention as a potential way to resuscitate Londoners who had stumbled into the River Thames. One of the first such recorded uses took place in 1746. 1946.
Well, you never know with these crazy people.
Anyways, it was 1746. After a man's wife was pulled from the water, the Lancet explains, amid much conflicting advice, a passing sailor proffered his pipe and instructed the husband to insert the stem and blow hard.
Oh my god. Oh god, it's wonderful.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ. Did it work?
Yeah,
Well, there you go.
it did.
So, I guess they weren't all crazy.
So, the woman quickly regained consciousness, though perhaps simply from the shock of having a fire placed right under her bottom.
Nah.
Anyways, a specific medical theory underpinned this bizarre practice. That was that the tobacco would stimulate respiration, and the smoke would warm and dry the patient's insides. Special devices were then created to perform the procedure, including both a chamber to burn the tobacco and tubes to blow the smoke into the rectum. The approach became so popular in the 18th century that a humane society placed resuscitation kits along the river and promised to pay the impressive sum of 4 guineas to anyone who had rescued a drowning victim.
Oh my gosh.
Eventually, physicians realized that using one's mouth to deliver the enema could be rather disastrous. I'm not going to explain why, because it's disgusting for me to even say. They replaced the method with a bellows-based one. Which
Oh god, that sounds awful. Oh gosh.
just blowing a
bellow.
person up like a tire.
It sounds like it, doesn't it?
Anyways,
That sounds awful.
soon tobacco enemas gained popularity in treating other health problems, being headaches, to hernias, to stomach cramps, and cholera. The popularity of the practice began to wane in the 1800s after British physician Benjamin Brodie started publicizing tobacco's negative effects. As for drowning victims, or anyone else who had stopped breathing, the U.S. physicians proved in 1956 that mouth-to-mouth resuscitation was a much more effective approach. Now, what is insane to me about this is that it seems to have worked.
Yeah, I know.
It seems to have worked
It's so dumb.
well enough to gain traction.
Exactly.
And it was only upstaged by CPR.
Right. So they went from the butthole to the mouth. That's kind of funny.
One end to the other.
More or less. I mean, it's... it is funny, though.
I would also like to point out that was one step behind what we do now.
Right.
That was the last thing.
Mm-hmm.
That was the evolution.
Right. I know.
That is insane to me.
And you gotta think, who would have even thought to have done that to start with? Why the...
Yeah, where did the sailor get that information
why
from?
the butt? I don't know. It's what makes it... I don't know. It's just so random to me. It's just like, blow smoke up their rear end. That'll work. Like, okay.
And it worked.
Sure. Oh my gosh.
Anyways, on to the last one of this episode. We're returning to the more, well, I wouldn't really say scary. It is featured in a lot of horror movies. We're going back to cannibalism.
Oh,
Because we haven't covered it enough.
nah.
Anyways, sipping human blood, smearing human fat, munching on dried flesh. Not the rituals of some grisly cult, although they are. In this instance, they are, well, they're what people thought would achieve good health
Right. Right. They thought they could absorb...
centuries ago.
Like, people's...
Absorb the vitality.
Right. Different thing, yeah. Because why not? Why not?
Anyways, the approach seemed to make perfect sense to many people, including Leonardo da Vinci.
Sure.
In fact, he was even quoted as saying, "In a dead thing, insensate life remains. When it is reunited with the stomachs of the living, regains sensitive and intellectual life."
Sure. Sure.
Sure.
That sounds like a winning prospect, doesn't it?
Anyways,
Oh my god.
as far back as ancient Rome, patients drank the blood of slain gladiators to bolster their strength.
Yeah, I've actually heard of that before. That's disgusting, but they supposedly do.
It's disgusting, but it makes a certain amount of sense.
I guess in their minds, yeah.
Not medically,
No.
but you can see the connection they
Jesus
made.
Christ, the amount of disease, ugh. But anyway, yeah. Oh yeah, in their minds, I guess I could see it, but
Anyways,
it had no sense at all of anything,
no.
which they didn't back then. They were literally just winging it at that point, drilling
Pretty
people
much.
in the head and stuff. I mean, come on.
I would also like to point out vampires.
Using milk for blood.
Yeah.
Right.
Right.
Vampires as well. So they were on top of the medical game. Back
They
in
were
those
literally
days.
just vampires.
More or less, yeah.
What the old definition of vampire used to be before
Right.
all the modern bullcrap. Anyways, it's actually called medical vampirism.
Well, sure.
It was practiced during the Renaissance as well, with one notable practitioner suggesting that the elderly could even regain their vigor by sucking from the vein of a quote-unquote willing, healthy, happy teenager.
Oh, God, that's so disgusting to think about. Ugh.
Eating human flesh was also deemed medicinal for centuries. Consider the 17th century German cure, a dried jerky of wine, myrrh, aloe, and chopped up corpses.
Ugh, God. We wonder why people died so young.
Yeah, really though.
It's not they were killing themselves here, doesn't it?
More or less. Just accidental suicides.
Yeah. Yeah.
Anyhow, perhaps the most popular type of human-sourced potions involved mummified remains.
Ew.
Often ground into a fine powder, the potion was used as a painkiller, cough suppressant, and blood thinner. Because of course.
Yeah, sure.
In time, the practice became so popular that a thriving fake mummy trade arose, with the potions actually derived from recently executed criminals and other dubious sources.
Oh, God.
Medical cannibalism ended up finally dying around the 18th century. However,
God.
the use of human body parts, as we all know, does continue today.
Yeah.
But more so transporting the living organs into living people.
Right.
So yeah.
Jesus.
By the way, little bit of useless but interesting, at least to me, trivia. The first successful organ transplant operation was in 1954 at Brigham and Women's Hospital in Boston.
Right.
I know nothing about that other than that.
Right.
But hey,
It's pretty cool, though.
1954.
Yeah.
Kind of impressive,
Yeah.
considering the type of equipment required
They
to
would
do
have
it
had back
safely.
then. Yeah. So, yeah.
And even still today, there can be very, very bad complications.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Anyhow, that's the end of this episode. I will turn it over to the bell for the outro.
Well, it's definitely been an interesting one. We learned a lot.
Oh, yeah.
We learned a lot of new medical techniques we can add to our daily existence.
Definitely learned some things I wish I hadn't.
Yep. So if you pair that up with what I went over on the last episode, you should be set for life.
Oh, absolutely.
Have no more issues. Take your heroin for your cough and blow some smoke up your rear end, and you're good to go. But anyway, we do hope you enjoyed this interesting medical segments. We're going to be starting up a new series, some mythology, talking about some of the gods.
Finally.
Some of the...
Back to our roots.
Yeah, some of the gods, some of the monsters, some of just different things. And all different pantheons, Egyptian, Roman, Greek. We're going to be going over a bunch of them. So anyway, we hope you enjoyed. Don't forget to like, follow, and subscribe. And don't forget to
Stay disturbed.